Namaste and hello. Welcome to yet another episode of The Light Within. In this episode, we will talk about something we all go through at times, falling into the victim mindset. You know, those moments when it feels like life is just happening to us and we are powerless to change it. It's more common than you might think, and it can happen almost without us realizing it. It's not just about feeling down on a tough day, it is a deeper sense that all the bad stuff in our lives is due to factors outside of our control, like other people, situations, or just plain bad luck. So let's start with the first segment, understanding victimhood. Why do we slip into this mindset? Well, it's actually a way our brain tries to protect us. When something difficult happens, like losing a job or dealing with a difficult person, it's easier to blame external things than to look inside and see if there's something we need to work on. It's kind of defense mechanism. Think about it. If you don't get along with a certain person at work, isn't it easier to blame them rather than reflecting that it takes two to tango? I know it is difficult. If you are in the middle of a problem, you too have contributed to it in some shape or form, isn't it true? Maybe it is subconscious, but you are a part of the problem. Yes. What happens is that we are not able to see it when we are in the middle of the problem and we feel victimized. The easy way out that we are very used to doing is to quickly blame the other person or situation. Victim mindset is like putting on blinders. You don't see the ways you can actually change your situation. It's like you're handing over the remote control of your life to someone else. You're saying, hey, I'm just going to sit here and hope things get better on their own. A lot of times we do that, isn't it? But we know that it doesn't work that way. The more we believe that we are powerless, or you consciously don't even have to think it that way. It's just that the more you slip into the zone of victimhood, the more you would end up acting that way. It's a vicious cycle, and it keeps us stuck in frustration and even sadness because we are not taking any steps to improve things. The good news is that we are not stuck in this mindset forever. The first step is recognizing when it's happening and asking ourselves why. Maybe it's rooted in past experience, like feeling overlooked when you were a child, or maybe it's just how society has conditioned us to think. Whatever the reason, becoming aware of it is huge. It's like turning on light in a dark room. Once you see what's there, you can start to do something about it. So the next time you catch yourself thinking, why does this happen to me? Or there is nothing that I can do, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that while you might not have control over everything that happens, you always have control over how you respond to it. I know it sounds cliche, but you have to keep repeating this to yourself until it becomes a belief. And that's where the true power lies. It's not about never feeling down or frustrated. It's part of life, right? It's about not letting those feelings control your life. You've got this. Now let's switch gears and look at this from a different angle, which is my favorite angle, spirituality. I'm not going to talk about anything out there. It's about connecting with a deeper part of yourself. You see, the whole victim mindset is tied to our ego, which is the part of us that loves to play the blame game and keeps us feeling separate from everyone and everything. The ego tells us that we are at the mercy of our circumstances, which frankly is pretty miserable way to live. You know the number of times I have said this in my podcast, directly or indirectly, that you have more power than you think. Spiritual teachings from the great masters like my own guru, Sri Paramhansa Yogananda, suggest that we are not just these little humans stuck in bad situations. We are actually powerful beings with the ability to shape our own experiences. In his teachings, Guruji has repeatedly said that we are the co-creators of our reality, which means that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we can control how we respond and what we choose to focus on. This doesn't mean ignoring the tough stuff or pretending everything is perfect. It's more about shifting our perspective. So imagine you're sailing a boat. You can't control the winds or the waves, but you can adjust your sail. That's what we need to focus on, adjusting your inner world so you can navigate the outer world better. It's about taking responsibility for your inner state of being, regardless of what is happening around you. These things are not easy to do. It comes with a lot of practice. But if you practice day in and day out, if you develop that kind of an awareness within you and you tell yourself that no matter what happens, I am going to stay calm and keep your focus on yourself, how you're behaving, how should you behave, things will fall in place. A great way to start connecting with this inner strength is to practice meditation or even just a few moments of quiet reflection every day. Again, these days everyone knows about these practices, but very few follow the way it should be. I encourage everyone to build the practice of meditation for their own good. It helps you in ways that you can't even think about. When you sit down and just breathe, you begin to see your thoughts and feelings from a bit of distance. It's like watching clouds in the sky. You see them, but you're not getting caught up in them. This helps you notice when you are slipping into that victim mindset, so you can gently pull yourself back to a place of calm and empowerment. With practice, gradually you learn to detach yourself and the feeling of helplessness or victimhood disappears. You gradually come to an understanding that you're ever protected and blessed. There's an army of spiritual beings. The great masters are looking after you, sending you love and caring for you. You don't need to expect it from humans because humans are ever unreliable. You just need to step out from the box of feeling victimized to feeling cared and loved. I had once shared this technique with my bestie while we were discussing about an unpleasant situation. It's sort of simple but works 100%. I'm going to share that technique with you. What you need to do is that you need to find a place where you can do it without drawing attention from other people. You have to make 2 circles. One circle will be where you are standing and the other circle is going to be close enough so that you can jump into it. So the other circle that I'm talking about, you have to write how would you like to feel: empowered, loved, grateful, joyful, peaceful, cared for, purified, cleansed, all of these emotions, whatever comes to your mind, the kind of emotions that you would like to feel, you have to write it at the center of the circle. Okay. And then now place a circle where you are standing right now. Close your eyes, take a deep breath and feel all the emotions that you're feeling. You don't need to write them in the circle where you are standing. You just need to feel those emotions. Could be anger, resentment, frustration, sadness, guilt, helplessness, fear, annoyance, etc., etc. Whatever you're feeling, just keep feeling those emotions. Keep breathing deeply for about 3 cycles, okay? And then release it with a deep sigh. Open your eyes and take a deep breath again. And step into the new circle. Remember the circle that you made in the beginning of the exercise? This circle is your place of empowerment, cleansed and purified energies of all the baggage and peacefulness, all of those positive emotions that you would like to rather be in. Stand in this new circle as long as you would like and keep taking the deep breaths. You may also repeat the affirmations. If you practice affirmations on a daily basis, you could do that. If not, you can simply continue to take deep breaths, and in your mind keep repeating the emotions that you would rather like to feel instead of what you were feeling earlier. Okay, the more you align your thoughts with these empowering ideas, the less room there would be for the victim mindset to take over. So keep repeating these positive emotions in your mind while you're standing in the circle and taking deep breaths as long as you want to, and then gently step out of the circle and go about your day. That's it. If you need to repeat this exercise, repeat it multiple times. I can guarantee you that you will have an immediate relief from the kind of negative emotions that you were feeling earlier. Remember that this is a journey. You're not going to be perfect at it, and it is okay. It's about progress, not perfection. The goal is to become so rooted in your true self that nothing can shake your sense of inner peace. When you get to that place, you will find that external stuff doesn't have nearly as much power over you as you once thought. You're stronger than you know. Alright, let's bring this down to earth with some real life scenarios. Think about that time at work when your boss gave you a hard time. This could be a manager or maybe your colleagues or somebody at work who probably criticized everything that you did, making you feel like you couldn't do anything right. And it's very easy to fall into the trap of thinking, why is this happening to me? Why is this person making my life miserable? And honestly, who wouldn't feel like that? It's tough. But when we get stuck in this mindset, it's like we are handing our power over to that person as if they control our happiness and self-worth. So how do you take your power back in these kind of situations? One approach is to shift your focus from what that person is doing to what you can do. Maybe you decide to have a calm conversation with them to get some clarity, or you distance yourself from that situation. It may not be possible in all the circumstances, but yes, in some circumstances you can create a physical distance, and when that happens, the problem may go away for some time. It's not about just putting up with it or pretending that it doesn't bother you. It's about acknowledging that while you can't control that person's behavior, you can control how you react and what steps you want to take next. It's about seeing yourself as an active participant in your life and not just a passive recipient of whatever comes your way. Another scenario could be, about a family member where someone is close to you, maybe a relative, and who just seems to be ignoring you or giving you a cold shoulder. These are some of the worst and painful situations that one can face. And it's very easy to go into the spiral of thoughts like, why are they treating me like this? What did I do wrong? And you're just left in a confused state, in a very uncertain space where you keep thinking that what have I even done to deserve this? And suddenly you are stuck in this loop of trying to figure out what's wrong with you when it might not have anything to do with you at all. A lot of times people project their insecurities onto us, and if we are sensitive, if we are empathetic, it's highly likely that we will be affected more than other people. What if you decided not to take it personally? What if you said that, okay, I can't control how they are acting, but I can choose not to let it ruin my time here? It's not about ignoring the problem, but choosing to focus your energy where it is valued and appreciated. In both the scenarios, you don't need to get bitter about these experiences or in that situation. I know it is very tough, but you have to keep telling yourself that it's not about you, it's about the other person. You have to take complete responsibility of the situation. However, the key to not getting affected is to keep your focus on yourself and let go. These examples aren't about denying that tough situations exist. They are about recognizing that you have a choice in how you deal with them. You can stay in the victim mindset, which is totally understandable and sometimes necessary to process things. But then, when you're ready, you can start to see that you are the one in the driver's seat. It's like realizing that yes, the weather outside is stormy, but you're the one holding the umbrella. You get to decide how you're going to weather the storm. Now let's move on to the next segment, which is about why we slip into victimhood and how to break free. I've shared a technique earlier to help you in your day-to-day life situations. Let's talk about when the victimhood mindset becomes our default mode. So, I'm talking about much deeper issues. So, we've all been there, replaying our past conversations, wondering why things didn't go our way, or feeling stuck in a situation that seems unfair. These are all ways we slip into the victim mindset, and it's totally normal. One big reason that it happens is because we get stuck in the past. We keep thinking about old hurts or missed opportunities, and it's like we are carrying a backpack full of rocks everywhere we go. It's heavy and it slows us down. The trick is to lighten that load. How do you do that? Whenever you catch yourself dwelling on something that has happened before, gently remind yourself that that was then, this is now. It sounds very simple, and unfortunately, our brain does not accept simple things. So you have to repeatedly tell yourself that that was then, this is now. It is very powerful. You're telling your mind that you are no longer living in the past moment. You're here in the present. And that's where your power is. You can't change the past, but you can choose what to do next. Another thing that pulls us down into the victim mindset is having expectations that are, well, a bit too high. We expect people to treat us fairly, the world to be just, and things to go smoothly. But reality has other plans sometimes, right? When life doesn't match up to our expectations, it is very easy to feel let down and blame everything and everyone around us. It's like expecting the ocean to be perfectly calm all the time. It's just not how it works. Sometimes things go sideways for no reason at all. At least from a conscious state of mind, you cannot make sense of things. If we are always expecting everything to go smoothly or for people to treat us the way we think we should be treated, we are setting ourselves up for disappointment. I know it is very hard. Instead, if we just accepted that life has its ups and downs, and I'm not saying that you should accept if someone is rude to you or they are being unfair to you. I'm just saying that you should not hold yourself in that situation for long. When we stop resisting the reality, we can start dealing with it more effectively. Then there is another issue of control as well. We love to think that we can control everything, from our jobs to our relationships to the way people see us. But the truth is that we can't. Trying to control everything is like trying to hold water in your hands. It's just going to slip through your fingers, isn't it? Instead of clinging to control, what if we focused on what we can influence? We might not be able to control the person's mood or their behavior, but we can control how we respond. And the reality is the power lies there only. It's just that we don't let our ego lose the control. Our ego keeps us in that state of keeping the control and questioning how could they, why would they, and all of those questions. But if we let go of that control, things will unfold in a way that you and I would have never imagined. Ego is that little voice that wants to be right, to be in charge, to have everything our way. But the thing is that none of us know everything. We don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. So why get so worked up and try to control it all? Letting go of the ego means to be okay with not having all the answers and not needing to be control of everything. It's about being open to whatever life brings and trusting that we'll handle as it comes. Now, let's move on to the next segment, and here I'm going to share a few tips with you to reclaim your power. We have understood what victimhood means, why do we slip into that zone, and a few things that we need to be aware of, right? Now, let's talk about how do we actually put all of this into practice. Here are some simple steps to help you reclaim your power and step out of that victim mindset. First, practice self-compassion. We are all human and we fall into the traps of victim mindset sometimes or often. The important thing is not to beat yourself up about it. Instead, try talking to yourself like you would a good friend. If a friend came to you feeling down and stuck, you wouldn't say, "Wow, you're really messing this up." You're going to say that it's okay. You're doing your best and things will get better. Try giving yourself the same kindness. The problem is that we give kindness to other people, but we are not kinder to ourselves, and we deserve our own kindness more than anybody else. The next is to take responsibility. This doesn't mean that you have to blame yourself for everything, but rather ask yourself, what can I do right now to make this situation better? And don't do it for anybody else, but for yourself. It might be something small, like taking a few deep breaths to calm down or deciding to have a tough conversation. The key is to focus on what you can control, even if it's just your attitude or your own actions. The next one is mindfulness, and there's a lot of text available on mindfulness practices, right? It's a great tool. When you're mindful, you are more aware of your thoughts and feelings as they come up, which makes it easier to catch yourself slipping into victimhood. So, I'm not saying that you should not feel the way you're feeling, but you would just stop at the right point if you are being mindful. You can practice mindfulness by simply paying attention to your breath or noticing the sensation in your body. When a negative thought pops up, acknowledge it without judgment and gently bring your focus back to the present. It's like training a puppy. It takes time, but it is worth it. Positive affirmations is next on my list. I know that it is again a cliche, but people who practice affirmation will vouch for the changes that they see in their lives. These are simple, empowering statements that you can repeat to yourself, like I'm capable, or I choose to focus on what I can control. And it might feel like a bit strange at first, but over time these affirmations can help rewire your brain to think more positively and recognize your own strength. You're not doing it for toxic positivity. Remember this, you're doing it because this is who you are. Another tip is don't be afraid to ask for help. Sometimes we are so deep in our heads that we can't see a way out. Talking to someone you trust, a friend, a family member, or even a professional therapist can give you a new perspective and remind you that you are not alone in this. And if you're really struggling, consider joining a support group or community, even a spiritual community. Being around with people who can lift you up can make a huge difference. I think the problem in India is that these things are looked down upon. So if you're asking for help, especially from a therapist or people outside of your immediate circle, it's not considered to be good. It's a sign as if you're weak, and it's not the right way to look at it at all. We all need help, and we need to accept it. Only when we help each other, whether it is professional help or help through a community, can we come together and be connected. Lastly, celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Maybe you caught yourself before slipping into a negative thought spiral, or you decided to take a walk instead of thinking over something that upset you. These might seem like little things, but they are actually huge steps towards empowerment. Give yourself credit for the progress you are making. It's all about those small, consistent actions that add up over time. And remember, breaking free from victimhood isn't about never feeling down or never having a bad days. It's about recognizing when you're feeling stuck, being kind to yourself, and taking steps to get back on track. You're stronger and more powerful than you know. And every time you choose to reclaim your power, you're moving closer to the life you truly want. This is all that I have in this episode. I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. If you like this content, please, I would like to hear your feedback on these podcast episodes. May your soul be illuminated with the light within. I will see you in the next episode of The Light Within.